Hello, my name is Laura Beltran, and I'm one half of the Silver Lining Realtor Group. My partner Clara is on vacation, so you just stuck with me today. So, as we promised, we said that we were going to deliver a video every Thursday on the wonders of living on the Treasure Coast. And so today's Thursday, so here we go. Today I'm going to discuss some fun facts about the Treasure Coast. Firstly, why is it called the Treasure Coast? I wondered that myself. But there was a group of Spanish ships in 1715 that was shipwrecked off the coast, off the Atlantic coast, around the Treasure Coast, and they were carrying gold, silver, antiques, and a whole bunch of precious gems. And as I said, they were shipwrecked, and so all of that landed on the floor of the Atlantic Ocean, right? So to this day, we have people looking for that gold and silver. So following a storm or a hurricane, you'll see people out on the beach with their metal detectors, hoping some of that gold and antiques and artifacts have washed up on the shores of the beach. And I guess some people have been lucky. I haven't heard of anybody recently, but that's the folklore that we hear, that people are still looking for the spoils of that shipwreck. So that's just a fun fact. Okay, the Treasure Coast is protected by sandbars and barrier islands and has bays, rivers, lagoons, and plenty of palm trees and pine trees. All right, so when you have a storm, we don't really have a huge problem with erosion because we will have all those natural barriers that help keep everything in place. So that's something that really works to our benefit. Okay, technically, the Treasure Coast consists of Indian River County, St. Lucie County, Martin County. But most people think of the Treasure Coast as from North Jupiter, Hobe Sound, Stewart, up through Vero. So that's one of the interesting points. So if somebody says to you they live in Hobe Sound and it's the Treasure Coast, technically it's not, but most natives consider it still part of the Treasure Coast. Okay, the wildlife. If you go for a walk, you will be amazed by all the natural wildlife you see. I'm always taking pictures and then running back to see what kind of bird I just saw. Like there's a bird called the ahinga, and you constantly see it with its wingspan wide as if it's sunning itself. Well, it really is because, and I didn't know what it was until I ran home and took a look, looked it up. But they don't have a way of drying themselves. So by spreading their wings, they're air drying. All right. And that's when you see them, that's what they're doing. They're air drying. We also have seen indescribable beauty in terms of wildlife. I mean, it's just amazing. But one thing I have to caution you, where there's any body of water, and in Florida there's lakes and bays, etc., you have to always be aware, and they do have signs posted, beware of alligators, because they're there, all right? But most alligators, they don't bother you, you don't bother them, and just remember, don't be feeding those alligators, because if you start feeding them, then they're gonna come up looking for the food. But just beware, if you see those signs posted, they're not kidding. There really are alligators around. Like I said, wherever there's a body of water, you just have to assume that an alligator might be lurking in the vicinity, okay? Florida is called the Sunshine State. Why? Because there's 230 days of sunshine a year. Now, one thing about the sunshine, to me, it is a calming agent. Even when I'm in a bad mood, which, can happen, not to me, but it can happen, I just open my door, feel the rays of sun on my body, and look at the palm trees, and I am just transformed. It never fails that it makes me so happy to be in this weather. And like I said, when I look at palm trees, blue skies, and warm air, I'm toast, okay? If I was in a bad mood, I've been transformed. And that's the beauty for me of living in Florida. Okay, the Kennedy Space Center. The Kennedy Space Center is about 90 minutes from the Treasure Coast. if you're up at the northern end, it may be a little bit like an hour and 15 minutes, but basically 90 minutes is a good barometer of how far or how long it'll take you to get to the Treasure Coast. Now, the Kennedy Space Center has been in use with all of our manned crews, sending manned crews up into the atmosphere since 1968. So it has a lot of history, and the Kennedy Space Center is marvelous to see. It's something that not only your kids will enjoy going on the tour, but everybody of every age will learn something new. It's just amazing to see how technology has progressed, and that we could actually send men and women to the moon and beyond, actually. So it's a wonderful time, a wonderful way to spend the day, and the Space Coast is just a wonderful experience. And then for people who are my age, you'll know that I Dream of Jeannie was filmed up there. So you see the Air Force Base and you go, that looks familiar. And that's because I Dream of Jeannie was shot. So we're looking for the genie in the bottle and her handsome major husband, but it was filmed up there. So that's another fun fact. The last thing I want to talk about is the Florida state parks. There are 175 state parks in Florida, and each one is unique. Each one is well maintained. Each one is vibrant and eclectic. All right. So as a Florida resident, you have access to all 175 state parks. And they even have what they call a Florida state passport, which you can get. And this way you can keep track of all the state parks that you visited. So it's a nice experience for you. All right. And some of the parks you can camp out. Some of the parks, they have picnics and barbecues, etc. So you just look them up and see what accommodations that they have. And then you can actually go and partake in their amenities. All right. So that's it for this week. It is again Thursday, so I'll see you next Thursday, and have a great week. And if you need to contact me, my phone number is 516-972-4514. And that's Laura Beltran, Partnership Realty, and Clara and I, are the Silver Lining Realtor Group of Partnership Realty. So have a great day and have a great week. See you next week. Bye.